Eden Kaz here with Just Be, and we are about to take a spiritual boom. We are at an unprecedented time in human history where we are transitioning from 3D to 5D within the great spiritual awakening. This video and audio podcast is the place for you to find your truth beyond politics, your sovereignty, your voice. Let's kick up your vibration now. By the way, each episode ends with the Just Be practice to do just that. And as we begin the show, just to know a little bit more about me, I'm a soul realignment specialist, meditation master, and dimensional healer. Learn more, and there's merch also at EdenJustBe.com. Let's get this party started. Here we go. Let it rip. All right, Eden. Just Be Spiritual Boom in association with the Grassroots Warrior Network. With me, Biohacker and 9D Breathworker. Ankie, please say hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
It's so nice to be here.
Yeah, and you just said before when we were off air that this is your first podcast. Is that right? All right. Well, Here you go. All right. So to give a little heads up, so Ankie and I, we're in a sacred economy together. And as you guys know, I have had so many people in sacred economy with me because they know a lot of stuff that's going on in the world. And I'm going to give a little talk before we begin and then read Ankie's bio, as I always do. Okay. So as you can see, I have on my I do not consent shirt today, which I love it. So doing a shout out to that. And as this is published 2 weeks after we talk, I am going to do a little topical note today. And I'm curious with once this is published, how it will stand the test of time. So I just wanted to give a quick nod with the assassination attempt with Trump on Saturday, which was so interesting. And Ankie, you can chime in on this, or we can just wait until it's your official turn. I was out to eat when it went down, and it was so interesting because there was no reaction with anybody. So that alone was wild. And then I just want to throw out there that regardless of how you feel about him, I do believe he is here to help break down this matrix that we're in. And I believe that he's fearless. I believe that the attempt was real. Do I believe it was a possible setup? Sure. Do I believe that him moving his head just slightly prevented something massive from happening? I do. So I just want to throw that out there to everybody because there's so many people who are also in the same mindset who are talking about potentially Trump and his crew setting this up. I don't believe that. So that's my 2 cents in anything. So just I'm glad. Even if there was an attempt on Biden or any of that, and it's really interesting, Ankie, with you being in the Netherlands. Oh no, wait, no, you're in the Netherlands right now. In Norway.
No, I'm in Norway.
Oh my gosh, I got confused for a second. How can I go ahead and ask you how do people feel about Trump over there?
I think it is like everywhere else, it's very divided.
Okay.
I find it amusing that even my mom says there isn't a newspaper in the whole of Norway that will report truly about what Trump is doing. He is a character.
He is a character. And it was really interesting. CNN reported right after the gun shot at Trump that he had fallen down. And I've seen on Facebook, there was this one with Trump right after he had been hit, and the security guards all beside him smiling. And there's so much fake stuff out there. So just be super discerning. Okay, let me go into your bio. Ankie Hille Hagen. Well, I said that right. Currently in Stavanger, Norway. Did I say that correctly too?
Almost Stavanger.
Oh no, say it again.
Stavanger.
Oh gosh, I messed that up a lot. All right, so you have lived in the Netherlands and Dubai. All right, she is a wife, a mom of 2 twins, and a 19-year-old, an investor, a 9D breathwork facilitator, HeartMath facilitator, self-defense instructor, and so much more. She desires people to take back control of health, life, and love. She feels this cannot be outsourced, and I completely agree, yet so many do it freely. She believes we are all unique, so we don't blend in. Flowers in a field, they don't compete for the sun, they just bloom, so shine your light. She got sick between childbirths, but as a good soldier, she carried on until 2011 when it felt like her body was shutting down. Her doctor wasn't helpful as blood tests showed nothing. So she decided she needed to be in charge and tried a lot of different modalities. And in 2016, realized that was called biohacking. The heaviest part, she believes, people don't know how bad in shape they are and form and health until they try something else. I love this line, and we'll kick it off from here. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Shall we go into that right away? What happened to you?
Yeah, there was a lot of things happening. So in 2000, okay, so some details are blurry, so I just divulged that immediately. My memory is a little bit foggy from that time, unfortunately. Uh, I did get diagnosed with tick bite, but it wasn't severe enough that I could get some antibiotics. And after that, things started to yeah, like my memory and numbers have always been my thing. And I remember my boss told me, this is the number you have to, this is the month's number, and you have to remember that one. Aren't you going to write it down? I was like, no, no need, because I remember numbers. And then a week or two went by and I could not remember the number.
Mm.
And that's when I got a little bit scared. Something is going on here. Fast forward, we moved to the Netherlands with my husband's job. I wasn't allowed to work at that moment, which was a blessing. That was
Okay, you.
because we were still in. Yeah,
Oh, okay. So yeah, go ahead. I was going to ask why weren't you allowed? Okay, go ahead. You were going to say
yeah,
that, I
that
think.
was because we were in the Norwegian national system still. So we
Okay.
were paying taxes to Norway. So if I had started working in the Netherlands, we would have officially moved to the Netherlands. So it didn't make sense because we weren't supposed to be out of the country for that many years.
Mm,
We were
got it.
supposed to be out for between 3 and 5 years, and it ended up being over 15. But
Wow.
going back, so came to the Netherlands. I had a friend that was really, she told me, if you're really that sick, if you're really feeling that low, you should really go to the doctor. Um, I hadn't felt that doctors had helped much in the past. I had a traumatic experience when I was pregnant with my last child. Um, it might not seem uh, traumatic, but it was to me,
Okay,
how
what
things
happened?
can. Um, yeah, I said I need to work a little bit less. I was working full time. I
Yeah.
was really sick. I had just um, half a year before I got pregnant. No, 2 months before I got pregnant, I was diagnosed with walking pneumonia. Luckily, I got the right antibiotic immediately, and that was a fluke that I got the right one.
Yeah.
And before that, I'd had something else severe. Oh, the English word for it won't come out right now, but that's okay.
Okay.
So I had been sick before that too. We were building a house at that moment. We had twins that were 3.5. I was pregnant.
Oh gosh.
It was tough on my body, so I told my doctor that I need to have some time off to get sick leave, and she said that no, I can't do that. Then I will have to write that you have psychological problems. And I did not have psychological problems. I just had a bad back, so I couldn't hardly uh, move at all.
Uh-huh.
And then I said, well, your husband has to help more. He's always traveled a lot. And I said, well, he can't just stay at home. It's his job. Well, then he has to change job. It was it was crazy. It didn't feel good, and I didn't feel supported. And I finally changed doctors in the end, so that was really good. But doctors, yeah, gave me a little bit of that, that false taste in your mouth. Like,
Yeah.
can they really help? So I went to my doctor in the Netherlands, and he said, well, turns out do you have a thyroid problem? Okay, so so I started on medication, and he did that very well, actually, how I had to build it up and everything. Um, and then, and he said that after a year on the right dosage, you should be okay and you should have your energy back. But I never got it back.
Yeah, after a year?
Um, yeah, after a
That was,
year on the
oh,
correct
geez.
dosage.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
a long time also. Okay.
it's a long time, but yeah, I've been having issues for a while, so I could see that it would take some time getting my energy back,
Hmm.
but I didn't, and that's and after that, it didn't really help, and it really felt like things in my body were starting to shut down. I had so many weird pains and aches and all kinds of weird stuff happening to me.
Okay.
Um, So that's when I started, and I said I just drew a line in the sand and said enough is enough. If I'm gonna get better, I need to take charge, because it's not happening right now with the doctor's help. And he basically told me that because I asked him what shall I do then to feel better? Is there any studies or any vitamins? Is there anything I can do? And he said, no, you have to move out of Holland to get better. And I asked him which country should I move to because we've just moved from Norway to the Netherlands, but he wasn't sure which country I should move to. So there was that. Yeah, and
Okay.
then I started
Wow.
taking charge.
So, so basically you need to move. Why
Yeah,
in the
I
heck
had
did he
to
say
move from
that?
Holland. They
Because,
didn't know what to do with me.
okay. So you got to
He
go.
didn't know
That
how
was
to
the
help me.
answer.
Yeah, yeah,
Jeez Louise. Okay. All right. So what'd you
yeah.
do from there?
Well, I started simple. I found something called living blood analysis.
Yes.
So I thought, okay, I need to do that. And it showed me that there were some weird stuff in my blood, and my blood was clotting like rolling coins. Have you ever seen one of those
Well,
living blood
actually,
analysis?
yeah. So I'm gonna. So the COVID vaccination healing that I can do, we've got live blood samples before the healing and then 10 days after. So those are dramatic in those. So it's so nice that
Okay.
you brought that up. So yeah, what did you see with yours?
And no, it was that rolling coins, stacks of coins.
Yes.
Um, and I could see there was, if you, if this is, yeah, if you can say this is your picture of the blood cells.
Yeah.
I had something going from the top all the way to the bottom, some kind of, God knows, worm or whatever it was. I don't know. That was there. So I have a lot of stuff, funny stuff going on in there. And it was some vitamin deficiencies that they can see in the dry test
So
that they do.
how did you find that? Like how were you drawn towards that?
I just started Googling, and
Okay.
I was desperate just to try anything.
Right.
Yeah. So whatever came up, I just, I'm going for it. That was the first one. The vitamins he advised to me, I kind of I overdosed. I took a normal dosage and I just totally blacked out. I slept for 24 hours. And that made me realize that, okay, not vitamins are good for everyone. And sometimes you need to build it up and start slowly. Yeah. And then after that, I tried some other stuff. I can't even remember what it's called or how I even found it. But we have tried a lot of different stuff, and I
Yeah.
dragged the kids into some of it. Um, and then, like I said, in 2016, I was in the US on a conference, and the lady that arranged it, she was married to a guy that worked for Bulletproof, and that's how I heard about um, biohacking for the first time.
Okay. So let me get a kind of a how many years did you not feel good?
About 10?
Oh my gosh. Okay. And then at towards the end of that, that was when you really felt like things were shutting down and you're like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay, 10 years. And at that
No,
time,
sorry, 5 years was bad, and then
okay.
5 years building up again.
Ooh. And at that time you had little babies?
Yeah.
Okay, and we're pregnant because even just having young children, I mean, that's a lot of energy. All right. So, was there a part of you, I guess, at some point, just desperate to feel better?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and I have to add with that, I'm not sure which states, but live blood sampling is illegal in a lot of states in the US.
Okay.
And I know that in Florida, which is where we got our samples from, it's not. So that's really neat that was available for you. All right. So what did you say? Bulletproof, or what did you, when you were in the States, what did you discover in terms of biohacking?
No, her husband worked for Bulletproof Coffee at that time.
Okay.
So they handed out samples, and then they talked about, because she had been to to the conference, the biohacking conference. Uh, that was just a couple of days before, and I was like, "Ah, why didn't I know about this? I would have loved, 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 loved being there. I
Oh
love
my gosh.
gadgets.
Yes.
I love technical gadgets, so I would have loved being there. And one day I will, but it's so freaking expensive.
All right. So so from there, where'd you go next?
With regards to biohacking?
Yes, in terms of your health. And I really enjoyed what you said too, how again with my work, everybody's unique. So there's not one fix that fits everybody. And bodies are different, and how someone reacts to one thing, someone else can completely react to it differently. Yeah. So where'd you
Yeah.
go in terms of, so 5 years in terms of feeling better? Was it
Yeah.
one main thing that helped you, or a combination of multiple things?
It was a combination of multiple things. And am I still where I want to be? No, I want more energy. So I'm not done. I don't think you will ever be done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is not one thing that I can say, yes, this really shifted a needle for me. Um, I'm sorry. For some it is, but for me it hasn't been. Like
Mhm.
I tried the cryo. That was not for me. My body did not like that.
Okay.
And maybe it will now, but I haven't tried cryo for a while
Okay.
because it got kind of, yeah.
Explain that one. Because I've done lots of different things too, but I haven't
Yeah.
specifically done cryotherapy. What does that involve?
Okay. Oh, well, you kind of undress until you're just in your underwear and shoes and gloves and a hat some places. And you go into this round chamber where they have the nitrogen steam kind of coming around you, and it gets really freaking cold. But it's only
Okay.
2 minutes, and you can survive anything for 2 minutes.
Okay. So the cold, and I know you did ozone therapy,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
infrared. Tell about your experience with infrared sauna.
I love infrared saunas. I've never been a fan of saunas. Yes, I'm from Scandinavia. Yes, the Norwegians are prudes compared to Danish and Swedes and Finnish people. We have our bathing clothes on, most of us. I do for certain. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. Um, I've never been fond of saunas. They made me, I can't breathe. Oh, yeah, no. And then I went on a spa treatment for myself, and they said, "Oh, we have this sauna." I was like, "Yeah, I don't really like sauna." So it's like, "I'm not sure I'm going to try." And she said, "Well, you should really try it." And I was like, "Okay." And I went in. I just, Thomas, that's my husband. We need one. And he goes, "Oh, it'll be one of those things that we buy, we never use." No, 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 we will use it. And we do, both of us. And we still love it. It's a tiny bit small. I would have loved to have a bigger one, but hey, can't have it all.
Okay. So tell me, I have in my notes that you had been cold sweating for a long
Yep.
time, and that stopped that.
I think Yeah, I think that was part of my Hashimoto. I was later diagnosed with Hashimoto, so that's a underactive thyroid issue where it's autoimmune. Um, And by the way, I believe it's possible to get out of it. I'm not there yet, but I've lowered my dosage of medicine from 67.5 micrograms to now 25 micrograms. So everything is possible, I think. Um, but I was sweating, I was cold sweating, so you could see it like, yeah, your shirts are wet and it's really uncomfortable. You feel so yucky um, when you sweat like that because you're cold, but you're still sweating. Um, and after maybe half a year of saunas, that was gone. I wasn't cold to the bone anymore.
Oh my gosh.
I
So
could
half
hold
a
my
year.
heat.
Did you do that every
Yeah, I
week?
think.
How often did you do it?
Can't remember, but
Okay.
probably once or twice or 3 times a week. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, that intense. Okay,
Yeah.
go into Hashimoto's a little bit more. It's a thyroid. Like um I know of it, yet it sounds like for you it kind like it affects everything.
Yeah, and I think it wasn't just that, it was all
Yeah.
the other things that I had that was still active in my body. Um, but for me, the Hashimoto, Hashimoto is the underactive part of the thyroid, so it means you're not um uh, metabolism isn't working the way it's supposed to be. Some people gain weight because of that. Some people blame 30, 40 kilos. I don't know how many pounds that is, and say it's a Hashimoto. No, that's too much. That's not a Hashimoto. That's just eating too much. Yes, I've eaten too much, so I maybe weigh more than I should. But uh, well, Hashimoto doesn't make it easier on that part because, yeah, your metabolism isn't working the way it's supposed to. Otherwise, one of the side effects is your memory. It can really mess with your memory. Um, what else? There are a lot of things. You feel foggy, you feel fatigued, you feel drained. Yeah, it's an upper.
Fun stuff. In terms of you getting your live blood sample and seeing a possible um, worm or a parasite, were you able to do any detox from that?
No, I wasn't aware of that at that point. That came
Okay.
later. Yeah.
Okay. What'd you do with that?
Yeah, what haven't I done? I've tried some
And I know you talked about the
oh,
memory, like remembering
yeah.
every detail. So yeah, whatever you can
Yeah,
remember
it's
on
hard.
that.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've tried, and there are some machines and stuff that I've tried in the Netherlands. I have no clue how I found it.
Wow.
I can't remember what it's called, but some of it's really neat. Somebody was just holding two sticks, and then it was supposed to kill everything in between. Um, it's a lot of different things.
So
Amazing
neat.
what you pay for sometimes when you're desperate.
It okay. I'll have to plug in there. So
Yep.
I don't know if I've mentioned this on the show. Maybe gently I have. So I had recurring UTIs, urinary tract infections. So the doctor, Western medicine, put me on antibiotics constantly. So I was on them for a year. And what that did, and this was before anyone, oh, if you're going to take antibiotics, you need to take probiotics on top of that. So my digestive system, my good flora totally went away. I went to doctors versus I didn't know that that was what happened. No classical doctors could help me. So it was the same thing that drove me to get help because I couldn't eat anything. My digestion was horrible. I had gas all the time, which is fun to talk about. Yet when we're,
After.
oh man, when you're brought into moments like this, because this is probably, was it? I think it was about 10 years too. Like got better, but then I had to go. I went to another alternative doctor. That helped a lot too. But it is definitely a process. And when you're in that mindset of something is not right with me, something is not feeling good and typical medicine is not helping and it's just making things worse, what it's like this desperate, what else can I find? And the beautiful part of that, at least for me too, was it turned, that was the moment that I realized that the way I've been doing things, the way I've expected to have help with my health and to feel better, that that was not it. So being driven in a sense to alternative things was a complete godsend. And then I moved into meditation and spirituality, and that just blew the door off. So it's always fun to say, I'm 55 and I do not take any. I I saw a Western medicine doctor a year ago because isn't this interesting? I had a urinary tract infection. And I spent so much time trying to heal it with natural stuff and it wouldn't heal. Okay, so not to completely poo-poo Western medicine because it does have its time and its place. Um, Yet I think that's the only time, probably in 6 or 7 years, and I really don't want to do that unless I have to. So it's a blessing. It's a blessing. So would you say, Anki, you are, let's see, let's put a percentage on it. Okay, knowing that you would still like to feel better and that we can always feel better. Are you, would you say that you're pretty much healed from that? Or 85% there? Or where are you at this
Yeah,
point?
80 to 85%, I guess.
Okay, that's got to
I
be.
don't want to be one of those because I have friends younger than me saying, "Oh, oh, it aches here and it aches there, but hey, that's what you have to expect when you're this old." I'm like, "You party pooper?
Yeah.
No, I'm 39 plus 11. Thank you very much."
Yeah, I agree with that too. That that part of this matrix that we're in, again, there's this belief about aging, that there's I don't buy into a lot of that. Not again saying that there are obvious things that are, happening, yet there's so much more to all of this too, in terms of biohacking, in terms of matrix hacking. Yeah, okay, and I remember listening. There was a stint where I listened to a lot of comedians, and these guys were like in their 30s talking about, oh, getting up and it aches and all this pain. I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, if you're feeling this way now, what are you going to feel like when you do start to get older? Man, all
Yeah.
right. Let me ask you for a second because I think this was really interesting. So, previous jobs, you were a wireline operator offshore. What
Yep.
what is that?
Okay, so on a platform, so what we normally did is we go down in wells that either are being drilled or has been drilled, and we shift some plugs. Well, we don't go down physically. That's what my mother-in-law thought in the beginning. No, we send a wire down with tools on it, under pressure, of course, because the well has a lot of pressure, to perform different kind of jobs, whatever they needed.
Okay, we're
I don't know
mostly
if that was very
mostly
clear.
well, yeah, I still have questions. Were you
Yeah,
mostly men? How many women?
yeah. One.
Okay. And I got you got your bachelor in economics where you worked in a bank and
Yeah,
construction company. Okay, and this is
yeah.
so interesting too because it sounds like you have a very what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say a classical mindset, but to also to go into alternative medicine because it sometimes it takes what am I trying to say? When, for example, like an engineering person, I see this and this works and this part fits. So to go into alternative where things don't, we have A and we have B, it's very magical and mystical at times. So you having a background that was more, this fits into that, I guess is the best way of saying it. Um, for you to go into alternative and knowing that you weren't feeling great at all. So there was a part like, what else can I do? So a point of desperation. So does that make sense at all? Hopefully it does.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Woo.
Um, yeah. What am I going to answer? For me, it's if something doesn't work, try something else.
Yeah.
It's like when you're putting together a cabinet from IKEA and you can't find the instructions. Well, what do you do? If you can't get that plug into that hole, well, find something else. It has to be a solution.
Ah. So how did you end up doing all that kind of work and more in the construction company? So a male, I'm assuming all male kind of dominated fields. What was that like?
It's easier. I found it hard when I was working in the bank. It was mostly women. And I found that really hard. It's like women putting each other down. Why? When I had my exit interview from the bank, I was told that one of my colleagues had a complaint that I was too chirpy in the morning. They didn't like that I was singing and making fun and like I had a very good morning every morning with three small kids and a husband that was traveling a lot. Like, no, but I made a decision when I came to work. I'm going to have a good time. I'm not going to let that ruin my day and not
Whoa.
everyone else's day, but I did anyway by being too
Whoa.
cheerful.
You were critiqued for that. Well, look at
Yeah,
that. Oh my gosh,
yeah,
Ankie. Okay, tell me how you got into 9D breath work because that's a new one for me. I love hearing when there's something new. I'm like, oh, let's go.
yeah. So I've done breath work before. It started with my daughter. Uh, she had trouble breathing, she said. We were in the car and she's like, oh, the air is here in here is so bad. Oh, I can't breathe. It's so horrible. I was like, oh my God, drama. But it but she continued. So we went to the doctor. They referred us to the hospital. They saw a children's doctor. Yeah, sorry, I just know the Dutch word for it. But they put a monitor on her heart, so she had to wear that for 3 days. And we came back and they were like, yeah, no, we don't know. We can't see that there's anything wrong with her heart. So good luck. I
Yeah.
was like, oh my gosh, what to do?
Mhm.
So luckily she was at home one day and I took her with me to my youngest physiotherapy appointment. And I said, I'm sorry, I have to bring her today because blah blah blah. This has happened with her heart and everything. She doesn't breathe well. And the physiotherapist, mine, not the doctor, not the heart specialist, but this physiotherapist looks at my daughter and says, no wonder she doesn't feel good. She's not breathing all the way down to her stomach. And I was like, what? Yes, she's just breathing up her chest. So she doesn't get enough air. And I was just flabbergasted. Wow, is this a thing? Yeah, so that ended up with me taking a HeartMath. So I'm a
Oh,
HeartMath facilitator. I'm Oxygen Advantage coach. And then I heard about this 9D. I started a biohacking group in Dubai. It was fantastic. So many beautiful souls.
nice.
And one of the guys, he had arranged for this 9D breath lady coming. And they asked, so I was at this center on a Friday and they said, oh, we're going to have a test run today. And then you can do it on Sunday again. I was like, yeah, but if I do it today, I don't have to do it on Sunday. So, okay, yeah, I can give my space to someone else. We laid down. I put on my headphones, put on my eye mask, and it started. And I think I cried basically from the first second until it was done. And it was so magical. I was like, heck no, I'm not going to give my space to anyone else on Sunday. I'm going to claim it for myself because it's awesome. Yeah.
Okay, so had a delightful release. So what? Because I want to go back to
Yes.
HeartMath too, because I think HeartMath is
Yeah.
incredible. Um,
Yeah. It is.
so what is it? What is 9D breath work? Like going really deep into your psyche or your soul, or yeah, tell me more, Ankie.
Yeah. So, of course, every journey is different from for everyone. I can't guarantee you anything. That's with anything in life. If I'm going to help you, I can't guarantee I can help you in any way. And that's learning for me because I want to help. But there is so much happening. So these are the headphones. We have blue journeys, we have red or green. It's just a color on them. But there is 432 hertz. It's binaural beats. It's isochromatic tones. It's solfeggio's frequencies. And within solfeggio, there are a lot of different frequencies. It's bioacoustic sound effects. It's somatic breathing, guided coaching, and subliminal messages. And I'm sure I forgot something. All happening at once in 3D. So you can, it sounds like someone is walking around you when you're listening to the tape. Yeah, it's freaking awesome. Sorry,
Oh
pardon
my
my
gosh.
French.
Oh, that's totally okay. Um,
And we have so many different journeys. So whatever you want to work on, yeah,
okay.
we've
Got
got
it.
you
Got it. All right. Talk
almost.
if you wouldn't mind talking a little bit about heart math and that is that
Yeah.
I know Greg Braden is key in that. I don't know if he's the face of it or yeah, tell me more.
Oh, yeah. I haven't followed them as closely as I did when I did my training.
Yeah.
But what I really like about um, the heart math is making you aware, and awareness is key. If you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know that when you're always walking and you always start every step with your right foot first, you don't know that you build a bigger muscle on that foot. But if you know, you can change it. So when you walk, otherwise you can change between the left and right leg, for example. So if you don't know that stress comes in all kind of forms, so you have stress that is in the fight or flight, or even yeah, and then you have to think about what fills you up, what how can you reload. So I like go-kart. I love go-kart. Unfortunately, I'm very competitive. I hate, yeah, sorry. I even compete with small kids, so yeah, there you go.
All right. Got it. See
but
it.
but it really makes my adrenaline go. And what I've never thought about before is when my adrenaline goes like that, I'm in stress in fight or flight mode. I'm not in fight or flight mode, but it stresses my body as if. And that's something to think about. So you should do other things that fill you up, but it's more low stress to fill up your cup. And the same you have on the stress side. Yeah. So there are high stressor, acute things that happens, and that's really in your fight or flight mode. And then you have small stressors. For me, it's like my husband and the taxes when it's tax season. And I've been asking for the same numbers like 100 times and he's still not giving them to me. That's a low stressor. Working his way up to a high stressor. We all have them. You just have to sit down, make a matrix. What is high stressors? What is low stressors? And low things that make you fill up your cup, good things that make fill up your cup, but it are yeah, high, more adrenaline based, and find out what they are. So you know where you can deduct. Is there something you can do about it? Sometimes there are not things we can do about it. Tax season rolls around every year. So I just have to deal with it. And I just have to find another way to deal with it,
I remember,
if that makes sense.
yes, I was exposed to heart math. Oh my gosh, how many years ago has it been? Oh, probably 12 years ago. And the one thing that I really take from it is that okay, you're going to have to help me with this, Anki. If so we focus in I was in this conference focusing on the word on well, they said that the word love can sometimes be a triggering word for people. So we were to
Mhm.
focus on the word care, which that is a more accepting, I guess, word for people in terms of opening their heart. So I specifically remember that because I completely agree, because love can be a challenging word for many people. So we were to focus on care, and then heart rate went down. But there were three words to focus on. I don't know if you connect to any of that, or if that makes, were you involved in any of that, or
No, it was wording in general. Find
okay.
something that builds you up. That's what we
Okay.
worked on. Not necessarily love, but there's always something that fills us up. And that's what we were supposed to focus on when we were
Okay.
breathing in and out slowly.
Beautiful. Hey, tell me about self-defense. What do you do? You're an instructor.
Yeah, that was fun. I thought we were going to go for self-defense, learning just self-defense class with we had a personal trainer that um, that we went to. And no, it turns out it was a 6-day course in self-defense, becoming a self-defense instructor. Um, it's about the stance, it's about the mindset, it's about putting down when you don't feel comfortable. It's okay to say no. If someone comes too close to you, you can say no. And if they have a problem with that, that's on them and not on you.
So
And
basically,
there are
I do not
clues.
consent. I do not consent to you
Yeah,
coming closer to
yeah,
me. Okay, so a lot
yeah,
of using your voice as well.
yeah, it is. And it's about making it also body posture. If you can stand tall, if you can be in your, at least look like you're in your power. It's so different from if you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm here. Then you are a much more easy target. And to listen, yes, we love having our headphones on or AirPods. Are you paying attention to what is actually going around you, where you are? That's so important. What kind of people do you see around you?
Mhm. Was it when
And
I
can you sprint?
can you sprint? It's I always
Yeah.
there's a little park right next to me, and it I am amazed at how many people are not aware and on their phones in this cute little park. But yeah, to go to that point of just not paying attention to what's around them, and
Yeah.
plus they're in nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not knowing what's going on, you can be easily taken advantage of, or so yeah. What do you, when you talk to people about paying attention? How,
Mhm.
when if they're going to have their headphones on, what do you tell them? If you're going to do that, then do this. Do you have any counter wording for them?
Just paying attention with your eyes then, what is
Mm.
going on? Look right and left and see what is actually going on around you. Take out your AirPods once in a while. Just check. Is there a sound that isn't supposed to be here? Look for clues. There is always clues if something is happening. Um, when you're on your phone, it's a five to seven $100 device. I don't know how much they are in the US. I'm sorry, but they're
Comparable.
expensive. They're freaking expensive. They might be even more than that. If they're like $1,000, you're walking around with $10,000 in your hand, and you don't even think that's a risk. Like really? Or nice jewelry. Sorry, some people they want that for. There can be so many reasons. There can be so many reasons. We just have to be aware.
And I like that too. Just take your AirPods out for a second and just, yeah, listen
Yeah.
to things and just be present too.
Yeah.
Man. Okay, so do you teach that?
Yeah, we did for a while, and then I
Okay.
moved to Dubai, and then COVID happened, and then I
Oh,
haven't taught it after that. No,
what was that like? And
but
it's cool that you've lived. So what and COVID in Dubai, what was that like?
we were allowed to go shop 3 times a week. maximum 3 hours from driving from home until you had to be home again. You had to apply for a permit. You had to drive with a mask and gloves in your car. Um, and only one person from the household could be out at one time.
Mm,
And there were curfew. You weren't allowed to be outside of your house between 8 in the evening and 6 in the morning.
okay. What what was it like living there and living in the Netherlands? Like you've lived in some really, Dubai, very different. And what was it? What did you loved it there, didn't you?
I loved it. I've come to love it. I was really skeptical when we moved to Dubai. I think I mentioned that for you. I was like, oh my gosh, plastic fantastic. It's so not me.
Plastic fantastic.
Like how am I
Okay.
gonna
Nice.
Yeah, but that's what you see. Everything is shining and everyone is high heels and makeup and
No
jewelry. You
way.
know, that's the pictures you normally see. Oh, they go shopping, and if you've seen Dubai Bling, you will know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Yeah.
But of course, there are normal people everywhere. You just have to find your peeps. And community is so important. Finding like-minded people. They say loneliness is the next big, not sickness, but uh,
Yeah.
if you're lonely, if you don't have anyone around you, your health will decline. We need people. People need people.
Mhm. And well, speaking of that, you met your husband when you were 18.
Yeah.
Were was it right? And do y'all have high school? Was it is that the
No,
term?
no, no, no.
Okay. Where
Yeah,
where
no, we know. Yeah.
what do y'all
Um,
have?
I had taken, yeah, well, we have videregående, but he's 5 years older than me, so I didn't meet him in school. But
Mm.
I have made some untraditional choices,
I love
as
that.
you
Me
might
too.
have heard.
Okay. Go ahead. Tell me about those. Love that.
Yeah, no, I chose I have 1 year at electro learning about electro and how to put wires together and stuff. And then I had 1 year of chemistry, and then I went to something called Teknisk Fagskole, which is a more technical place. And within that program, we had to be placed in a job, um, 2 weeks at a time. So
Mhm.
2 weeks working and 4 weeks at school. And we did that for 2.5 years. So instead of a 2 year school, this was a 2.5 year program. So I was there first, and then he came in, and I was like, yeah, no, he's not for me. But he was just the sweetest guy.
So did he
And
ask you
one
out
day,
kind of thing? And you were like,
no, no. So I was standing there doing the dishes because it was at the lab, so you had to do a lot of dishes of all the Petri things and everything. And I said, "Oh, I hate this." And he was like, "Oh." Oh, and I said, I hate this because I have to do it when I come home as well. And he said, well, I can come home to you and do your dishes. It's like, yeah, no, you won't. Yeah, I will, he said.
okay.
Well, he came that night, but I'd done the dishes. Yeah.
So what was the spark then? What eventually made you go, oh, I kind of like this kid?
Yeah, like I said, he's just a sweetheart. He's so
Okay.
kind. He's so amazing. Yeah. Okay, can you be stupid? Yeah, of course. Nobody's perfect, and neither am I. Uh, but yeah, I've never liked those bad guys. They're not for me.
Yeah.
Um, some other can have those. I have no desire of rehabilitating anyone. Um, no. So he was for me.
Mm-mm.
And this year we've been married for 27 years, and
Oh gosh.
we were together for 5 years before we got married. So yeah, time flies.
Yes, it does. All right. I we can go into the practice in a second. Yet is there before we do
Yeah.
that, is there anything that you want to share in terms of biohacking or an experience that you had with any sort of alternative methodology or tool that you were just like, oh my gosh, if you can experience this, it's great?
No, I think I would rather say listen to your heart and don't be afraid to try things. Like I did the ozone therapy. I'm afraid of needles, I must say, but I know I have to do it sometimes to take blood tests and everything. I would have been a terrible drug addict. Um, but yeah, yeah. I would just say, no, try things. If there is something you want to try, try it. And you don't need a freaking reason. You don't need to have been sick to try something new. I mean, hello, it's fun. And yeah, I try weird things.
Okay, what's the weirdest thing that you've tried? That's a good. Let's lead into that because I've done some stuff too. Yep.
Wow, where to it? Well, the latest is I think the urine therapy that I'm about to try. So I'm now sample the urine. I'm gonna store it for 21 days and then I'm gonna shoot it back.
Okay, so
Yeah.
literally drink it.
No, I'm not that
Okay.
brave.
Okay, because I
So
know
you
that
put
there's
it up
that too.
somewhere
Okay.
else where the sun doesn't shine.
Okay. So you shoot it up there. Girl, we got to
Yeah.
get specific about this. All right. So
Yeah,
urine
5 or 10
therapy.
milliliters. Yeah.
Okay. Let me write this one down. I can't because there are so many things. I mean, there are so, okay. So say that again. Okay. So you give a sample, hold it for 21 days, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then,
Yeah, between 14 and 21. So I listened to two podcasts and one was the doctor that had written her was a dissertation about it.
okay.
And that was 14 days holding it and then put it back.
Okay. So
That was 5
are you doing
ml.
this on your own?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So hold it and then shoot it
Yeah.
back in your
But it's
body.
fine. Yeah.
And then what's it supposed to do potentially?
Urine can help with so much. If you just Google
Yes.
it and Google urine therapy, I can't even say everything is good for because I don't have clue for everything is good for. They say it can help with allergies, it can help with a lot of things. I just want to see if I can improve my health, just even if it's just by 1%. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
But drink it, I'm not there yet. I'm sorry. I'm not that brave.
Again, everyone, I have a contact of mine who actually puts urine on her face because it's supposed to be great for your skin.
They say it's amazing. Yeah.
Okay. And again, I'm assuming because it's gone through the body and gone through all these detoxing, you
Yeah,
know.
it's antiseptic, it's antibacterial, it's yeah. So it's really good for you.
Mm. Now I'm sitting here going, I'm going to have to think of this. What's the wildest thing that I've done? I'm going to have to think on that, Ankie. Okay. Give me one other thing. I love that.
Oh, yeah. Maybe doing the uh yeah, maybe the cryo because it's not crazy, but it was maybe about better judgment because at that time my cold gauge wasn't optimal. Now I can do cold baths. I feel cold baths plunges are easier for me than cryo. And I think people need to listen to their bodies again. Um, if something doesn't sound right to you, just because someone said it's magical and you should do it, it doesn't mean you have to do it. Doesn't mean it's good for you.
Or maybe you try it and just go, hey, that's really not a fit for me
Yeah, yeah,
right
try
now.
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Try it first. Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that. I didn't mean, yeah. Try it and then decide, is this for me? No, maybe not. Or maybe some things you have to try multiple times.
Yeah.
But don't get discouraged. Find something else. There are so many things you can do.
My
And
gosh.
red light therapy is just beautiful.
Yeah. And it
And
is,
you have a
it's
beautiful salt lamp there.
mhm, mhm. Oh yes. And it's
Yeah.
so neat, even where I am in little Ohio. Well, not well, medium size. The the modalities that are popping up here and the things you can try. There's a lot if you really look and really dig deeper. Because,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
here and I'm very alternative as well. And here I am. And, so if I'm here, there's multiple things. And yeah, and you're right
Yeah.
with Rife and, oh gosh, we could go through, oh, let me
Oh
think.
yeah.
Rife therapies, neurotherapies,
Yeah.
and massage, all that. I love massage too, and massage therapists that are Reiki driven. Those are so excellent. So yeah, girl, we should start listing off stuff. I think that would be
Oh yeah.
a
Oh.
thing. Okay,
Oh
how about
yeah.
are we ready to go into the practice? Because I'm curious to see what you have for us today.
Just be practice.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I kind of forgot about, but I have
Ah,
one here.
okay, good. I'm sure you could just throw
I have one
something
here.
together.
Yeah. So, okay. Are you guys ready? Yeah.
Yes. I'll say yes for all of
Okay.
us. Yes.
Okay, good. Good, good, good. Okay, close your eyes and your mouth and breathe slowly through your nose. Think of a place where you feel good, or a person you like being with, or just a feeling of happiness and feeling secure. Something that makes you happy and where you feel safe. And just continue breathing slowly in and out through your nose. What does it look like? Are there any colors or sounds or smell that comes to you? What do you do? Are you sitting? Are you walking? Running? Cooking? What is around you? Is it bright? Is it dark? Is it evening? Are there other persons around you? Continue breathing. And just think about how you're feeling at this moment. Are you feeling happy? And just bathe in that happiness and good feeling that you're having. And we're going to just do 2 more breaths in and out through your nose. And then I want you to slowly open your eyes and come back. And just think about, you didn't go anywhere. You were sitting in your chair, which means you can go anywhere just by changing how you think at this moment.
Yeah, doggy. Yeah. I always love to be bathed in happiness. When you said that, I was like, so great. All right,
Yeah,
girl. Girl, I'm going to put your
yeah,
Instagram up because I know you said by December-ish that you think you'll have
yeah.
your website up.
Yeah,
Okay.
I hope
Why
so. Yeah.
why would someone contact you? What do you offer?
Good question.
Yes.
Well, I would like to say I know how to help people, but I know I've been through stuff, and
Yes.
maybe that can help people knowing that it's possible to go through stuff and you can come out on the other side. It's like having teenagers. They come out of the other side, on the other side of the tunnel most of the time. And so can we.
Okay, so if anyone's experiencing some health issues or kind of like a maybe they're at a stopping point and they're also looking for something, they can come to you,
Yeah,
and given your experience and everything, all this healing methodology that you've done and you've experienced, and you are a facilitator in, so being a facilitator in
yeah.
the 9D breath work, HeartMath, yeah, it'll be interesting what you can offer people. And I know, tell me if this is correct, Ankie, too, this is more of a new venture for you,
Yeah, the
or really
90 is very
starting this
new.
up.
Yeah. Like I said, we just moved back to Norway. I started this when I was in Dubai, and I had some fantastic sessions, and it's amazing to see what people can get out of it. Um, yeah, it's when you're breathing actively, and
Yeah.
you will have active and passive breathing, and then during the active breathing, you breathe with your mouth open and quicker than normal, and with your stomach and your chest, and you really change the body gases so much that the whole body can get into tetany, and it's kind of strange to look at, but oh boy, it can change things for you. And we can do Zoom sessions with 90 breath work as well.
Nice. Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
And I love this being, let's say, your first podcast, because there are so many people right now, and as the time goes on, that are just going to need healing. So the more of us that are out there to do that sort of work, the better. Hey, thank you so
Yeah.
much for sharing you on the show today. And thank you for being here. I know the time difference, afternoon for you, morning for me, and
Yeah.
so good to have this time together. And I in the sacred economy that we're in, bringing people on the show gives me a good chance to dive in and get to know all the folks that I'm connected with even better. So thank you for that.
Can I say something as a side
Yes,
note to that? What
please.
I really love about the sacred economy that we're both a part of is I see it as an investment in myself. I see it as a course. You pay for courses, so why not invest in yourself and meet all these amazing people that will help you and cheer you on in your dreams. It's just amazing, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it. So thank you.
Right. And this is kind of what we're doing, just cheering, like it's a major support system of just going,
Yeah,
you got this, and we're here for you. So, yeah, that's kind of what we're doing today. So, beautiful. All right, we're going to sign off in a second if you can hang with
thank you.
me for a moment. But, oh, everybody,
Yeah,
Steve Farrell. So, I've got folks lined up for the next 2 months. So, Steve Farrell, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Neil Donna Walsh and Greg Braden from HeartMath. They're all connected. So, Humanities team, they're going to be on the show soon. And we've got lots of big, big folks really doing some amazing healing in the world. So stay tuned. See you later, Missy. Okay, how do I stop this? How do I stop this? Y'all, find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, True Social, as well as Rumble, BitChute, YouTube, plus a plethora of other audio directories like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So like, subscribe, do it all. See ya.